Welcome, golf fans, and happy golf 2021 season. We are starting a new FedEx Cup season, which is exciting. Not so much, but I am going to be covering the Safeway Open. I am going to be doing some deep dive analysis, give you a course overview. Who am I looking at? I'll get you the projections, get you away from the chalk. We'll pivot. And also the fades, and then I'll even give you who I think is going to win this thing and why. With everything going on, with football just starting, and then you got the U.S. Open coming, you know, a lot of guys are kind of cashing in on this Safeway Open. I'm going to hopefully give you some insights that are going to help you. You still got a $200,000 top prize out there. That's what we're gunning for this week, and I'm recording this Wednesday around 2:45 Eastern. So some quick, interesting little fast facts regarding the Safeway Open. They are playing in Napa, California at the Silverado Resort and Spa. There's two courses. They will be playing the north. It is a par 72, a little less than 7,200 yards, coming in at 7,166. Designed by Robert Trent Jones, and was redone by Johnny Miller in 2011, so no one really cares about that. Fairways to hit are, you know, average, nothing crazy there, but the rough is not penal, so compared to what we've been watching, there's going to be some low scores out here. We're going to see some birdies and eagles. Greens are POA, and they're running pretty average, 12 to 13 on the stump meter. The green size, average, about 6,200 square feet. From a cut perspective, typically it's around 1 under, and winning scores typically been around 15 or 16 under. What is a little different is we're finally getting to see 4 par 5s. That's a rarity. We've been watching the 2 par 5s the last couple tournaments here, and birdie or better is pretty average for this. And course fits, you know, if you look below there, you got kind of quite a mix. You've got Cameron Champ, who won it this previous, or the 2020 season. You had Tway in 2019, 2018 and 17. You had back-to-back wins by Mr. Brandon Steele, and then all the way back in 2016, you had Emiliano Grillo. I like that picture of him. That was just when he was a young pup, had some longer hair, rocking. You know, you got one side where you got the guys who hit it long and straight, maybe not so great with the putter and maybe in the short approaches. Then you got Mr. Accurate from the approach side, not terrible, can get streaky with their putters, can win this thing. So let's get into it. So I ran a model, thank you Fantasy National, and I looked at two different things. Both are going to be looking at recent form, but the key indicators for the top 10 performers here in the past: shot gain on par 4s, par 4 scoring, of course greens and reg, approach, putting, which showed up with the par 5s, of course, scoring on those. The proximity to the pin is what's shown up if you are accurate from 75 to 125 pretty much. And then, of course, the 200 plus is the guys going for eagle on the par 5s. The one I'd say unique for this one was the scrambling. Typically, I don't use scrambling, but it really resonated here. So the guys that can get up and down are going to do well. And the two guys that kind of overlapped on my two models that I'll point out is Kevin Streelman and Ches Reavie. We'll get into those guys a little more. And then anybody that just kind of sticks out on this list, there's a few guys. Snedeker we'll talk briefly about. Trying to think of anybody else that I see here. JB Holmes, I thought about rostering him. The only problem is we haven't seen him since February. He was dealing with a shoulder injury. So this is his first tournament back. On a side note, so many people everybody's so excited about this tournament that I think we've had about 6 already withdrawals or just opt-outs. You got the Kuchers, Danny Lees, I think Bryson Nemmer, who I don't even know who that is. It's pretty bad when Bryson Nemmer decides he's not going to play. But yeah, just check. I mean, I'm sure as you build your lineups, of course, it's called out, but quite a few people have already withdrawn from this tournament. And the sad thing to start is your number one player by money is Siwoo Kim, which that's interesting. I mean, you know, you got Phil Mickelson who won at the tour, the Champions Tour. Well, I still call it the Seniors Tour, which, you know, no shocker there, but I wouldn't get too amped up about Phil. Jordan Spieth, who knows, maybe, you know, maybe this is a spot for him to start his resurgence, you know. So anyways, not a lot of big names. Everybody's taking the week off, preparing for the U.S. Open. You got like DJ, who's never been to Winged Foot. Kind of shocked a little bit Phil's even playing here because I know, you know, as we all know, the U.S. Open means the world, and with his past experience at Winged Foot. But I guess he's just looking to keep the back and everything lubed and keep swinging. So anyways, I didn't mention the comp courses I am looking at, and there's only two outside of Silverado, is Pebble Beach and Spyglass, also at Pebble Beach. And then you got Monterey, but that doesn't fit in for a par 72 under 7,200 yards. So just keep that noted. Everything that I'm kind of be discussing here, it will be those comp courses along, of course, with Silverado. And then I also ran a model just purely looking at recent form on POA. And the reason I did this was you only get so many rounds. If you look at, you know, here you could see guys, you know, like Schwartzel, you know, 3 rounds, you know, so I wanted a little more deeper data. And the guys that popped again, as I kind of mentioned, Ches Reavie and Streelman, that I am interested in. You got HV3 at the top there, which we'll talk about that. Why maybe not him. But yeah, so I think Luke List is interesting. I think he fits in with the with the champ and Tway. If you're leaning that the Bombers are gonna do well here, but you know, the no putters, you know, Luke List might be something you might want to look at. All right, so who is super chalky? So no shocker, Brennan Steele is coming in at 22.2%. He's won it here twice. Got great form at Silverado. Some guys joke and call it the Steel Open. But he's coming in super chalky. And, you know, for all these guys that are coming in super chalky, I'm not saying don't play. All I'm just making you aware is that they're super chalky, and you probably don't want to build a lineup with all 3 of them in there, or the odds that you're going to, you know, win the 200K alone is very, very slim. As I mentioned, you saw HV3. He's coming in right now, the highest owned. Sorry about that. Great recent form. Doing showdowns, put him in for Thursday or Friday. But come Saturday or Sunday, he just can't close the deal. He's never actually won on tour. You know, typically leads on Thursdays and then kind of falters as the week goes. And Cameron Davis coming in at 23.5. So these are your 3 top right now owned. And I am, again, recording this Wednesday, about 3 o'clock Eastern. So that gives you kind of an idea. There's still over 12 hours that people can put some lineups in. Just to give you some more look, let me just see who else is coming in highly owned at the moment. All right. So those, you got Doc Redman also at 20%. Sam Burns coming in at almost 20% owned. Mark Hubbard's up there at 16. Tringali at 16. Luke List, we were just talking about 17%. So some people also have that idea. Just trying to see it. All the rest, I mean, there's a lot of different plays here. Chris Baker. Why is Chris Baker coming in at over 15%? What am I missing there? Let's see here. Sorry, that just that was interesting. Chris Baker. Well, he likes POA. He's not a very good putter, but POA is his best putting surface. He's not getting a ton with it. he has been in pretty good recent form. Got a 20th at the Wyndham, a 41st at the 3M Open, a 45th at the Rocket. What has he done at Safeway? Sorry, this is just off the cuff. Oh, he missed the cut in 2019, so that's not that great. And what has he done at AT&T? He had a 38th finish. So, someone to think of. I was not on my radar until I started looking at projections, so I guess that was worthwhile. So Chris Baker, keep an eye out. All right, that was it for projections. So you got a good understanding of who is chalky. So again, that was List, Tringali, Hubbard, Sam Burns. We already said Cameron Davis, HV3, Doc Redman, Ches Reavie, and Brendan Steele coming in at Chalk. All right, so who can we look to pivot to? So as I mentioned, I like Ches. He's coming in at less than 16% owned now, a little higher than for this field, which I look at this field, you got to be open-minded. This is the Michael Thompson, Jim Herman, anyone can win almost to some degree in this field. Oh, and a side note, if you saw that Schneider Jans was added to the list, that is not Ali Schneider Jans. That's Luke, who has had some success in the amateur levels. I believe played at Georgia Tech, but that is not Ali, who, if it was Ali, I would be interested in. I'm not really sure where he's been, but I have not seen Ali Schneider Jans in a while. All right, let's get back to Ches Reavie. Why is Ches Reavie looking good? So Ches with the putter struggles. Bermuda's his worst surface, but POA is a positive surface. His recent form's been, not bad. He did make the Northern Trust, ended up 49th, 75th at the PGA, but he did have a 6th at the WGC, a 22nd at Memorial, and a 17th at Workday. But if I believe, so the AT&T Pro-Am again at Pebble is where I saw some nice finishes. He had a 2nd in 2018, 25th this year, well, in 2020 season. It's going to be a little weird to say that. And so he has a lot of history there from my correlation course. And then Safeway, he's played 8 times. And it's a range. 2019 was a 33rd. Funny enough, 2018, he ended up 33rd. 2017, he had a 13th, a 17th in 2015. So I like the recent form. I like that this is his only positive putting surface. And put that all together. And I think, this would go under the Streelman or steel kind of, armor more, the accurate, shorter hitters. But, Ches can get hot. So I'm going to take a look at EVR. Eric Van Rooyen. I kind of looked at Eric, and what I liked is that, again, he struggles with the putter, but POA is his best putting surface. It is a positive putting surface. He's had some decent splashes of, sparking back up where he ended up at the PGA at 51st, which is the last place we've seen him. But at the WGC St. Jude in August, he had a 20th. At the Memorial, which was tough conditions, he had a 22nd. Where his tee to green game has been pretty solid. The putter is what's been holding him back. So where I'm going with on this one is if he can, keep striking the ball well and get that putter going on his favorite surface, we might have something here. I'm just pulling up. So he's not played at AT&T or Safeway in the past, so I can't go off that. But for less than 15% owned, he's a solid player. I for whatever, I'm thinking EVR might do something for us here. Then you got our current Open champion who didn't have to defend this year, but will coming up, coming in at 10.5% owned. What do I like about Shane? POA is his favorite putting surface, so he does well on bent and POA. Bermuda is his worst putting surface. Over his last 5 rounds, he's gaining strokes in all categories except putting. So and it's not even losing terribly. He is negative. Even it's actually, if you go past his last 10 rounds, So again, I'm hoping the putter heats up. Recent form, he had a miscut at Northern Trust, but 23rd at Wyndham, a 6th at the WGC St. Jude. What I did like, what caught my eye was his AT&T history. It's been pretty solid. I mean, he had a miscut 2019, but other than that, he had a 14th, a 21st, a 41st, and a 43rd. So, some positive comp history. Again, I'll say that. And he's never played at Safeway. So, again, with the field that we got put in front of us and looking for just quality golfers, I mean, he's a major winner. Ches Reavie had a win last year. EVR, I've seen. That guy can just light it up one day. I kind of think of him almost like a Kevin Chappell, where, they'll pop a 59 or 60 out and then go out and shoot an 80. So, I'm not saying there's not some craziness as in it's, you're not looking for a steady performance, but he streaks. And so that's why I also was looking at EVR. It's kind of bad. I'm trying to sell myself on why EVR now, but no, I'm going to put him on my rosters. I'm going to give it a go. We got to be a little creative. All right. Sleepers. I like Brent Snedeker. He's coming in very low owned, and why I like, oops, can't steal my thunder here. Why do I like Brent? So Snedeker has been not in the best recent form, and really what kind of crazy is his putter is what's been killing him. But POA is his best putting surface. He's been losing over the past 5 events. He's been losing across the board except around the green. He's been gaining. As I mentioned, recent form's not good. He miscut at Northern Trust, 42 at Wyndham, 51 at PGA. But there is some positive here. I wouldn't have brought him up. The Safeway, he's had some really positive past history. So he's had 2019, he ended up 17th. 2018, he had a runner-up second place finish, and then a 17th again in 2015, and 2014 a 57th. But I like that. And at the AT&T, he's had some decent past history. So his last 2020, so this year and 2019, he missed a cut, but he's won twice at Pebble Beach in his past history. He's also had a 4th, an 8th. So again, I'm looking for some of these guys to start the new season off with a bang, leave the old one behind, and hopefully find something with the putter. So I like a little Sneds, and as you see, I'm going on a kind of a used to be great players but been struggling kind of routine here. RCB, Rafa Cabrera Barrel, kind of the same thing where if you look over his, last 20 events, he's lost in all categories. But he did start to show some life at the Wyndham. He had a 37th. He had a 32nd at the 3M Open. He's never played at Silverado at the Safeway, but he has had some good experience at the AT&T. A 22nd, a 26th, and a 64th with a miscut bookending his. So last year, or again, I keep saying last year because of the season. Last season, the 2020 season, he miscut at the AT&T, which, again, he's just been struggling. But I'm looking for someone, this is by far his best putting surface. The guy, was highly world ranked. Has had some big wins in his past. Crazy accurate off the tee and a great with approach around the greens. Always been but yeah, I'd like to see RCB get back on track, and so I'm gonna go with him. And then my last kind of sleeper is Troy Merritt, and again, as you're always going to notice, loves the putting surface POA. He's also been losing strokes, pretty heavily, but the putter's actually been a positive. But again, he's had some decent recent form. He had an 8th at the Rocket Mortgage back in July. He made the Northern Trust and ended up 29th, and he had a 59th at the Wyndham. His course history, let's see here, at Safeway, this was what was interesting. He had a 4th place finish in 2018 and a 15th in 2016. He did miss the cut in 2019. And let's see, AT&T. He also had an 8th place finish in 2018 and a 25th in 2020. So, you know, again, with less than a 3.4 ownership right now, you know, these are guys that are all, you know, less than 5% owned, but still, if you look at the field, pretty solid quality, guys that have, you know, a strong pedigree in his past. Maybe not as much Troy Merritt, but the other two. But you know, I'm looking for Merritt to do something. All right, who am I going to pick to win? And my winner is Kevin Streelman. That's right, as I kind of mentioned. That's a little loud. So, Kevin Streelman, why do I think he is going to pull this off? So where Streelman's been struggling is the putter. Always, you know, over the last, since his infinite days as a little kid, probably on the little courses around his house. This guy just struggles putt, but he's green everywhere else, positive everywhere else. And what I like about is if you look at his Safeway past history, it's not stellar. He had a 13th, a 25th, and a 41 would be his highlights. But at AT&T, he had a 2nd this year, or the 2020 season. He ended up runner-up, a 7th in 2019, a 6th in 2018, a 14th, a 17th. The guy loves short par 72s on POA. And so with that said, I will be relying on Mr. Streelman to come through. And again, from a putter perspective, his worst is bent. Bermuda's his next worst. And POA is just neutral. So we'll take neutral. If he can do everything else that he typically does from tee to green, we'll be all set. So that's it. That's all I have for today. And I'm wishing you a great 2021 season. And if you would subscribe to my channel, I appreciate it, because I'm going to have a lot of content coming out for the US Open. I'll talk to you then.